Hello, hello, hello. Happy first Monday of 2023. Happy New Year. How are you feeling? How are you doing? So, I'm very excited because it's time, I think, at the new year to reintroduce myself. And so I made a lot of videos in 2022, but I was thinking that maybe it's time to reintroduce myself and just let people know who I am and what I'm about. And the person who gave me the inspiration for doing this video and said, "Yes, Beth, it is time you reintroduce yourself. You just catch people up who are just starting to get to know you and become familiar with you now. And to make them feel a little bit more comfortable about who and what you're about is Nyala Thorpe. She is a marketing coach, and she is the marketing coach of Market Your Message. That is her trademark promise. And so she started this new year off offering her clients this opportunity to do a 30-day video challenge. And so here I am doing this video challenge that Nyala put together. So actually, this channel is going to have a lot of new juicy content put out in the next 30 days. So if you are not subscribed already to my YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button because there are new things coming. The fun thing and the really cool thing, although it is not always easy or fun sometimes, about working with a coach or a mentor is that they challenge you and they get you to think about things that you hadn't thought about sharing before. And so, yes, if you are someone who uses Facebook, I do encourage you to go check Nyala Thorpe out of Market Your Message. She's all over the place on Facebook. You will find her pretty easily, I believe. But she is the reason why, the inspiration behind this video. So let's get right into it, shall we? You ready? So if you are still here, thank you for your time. I appreciate your time. And my name is Beth, Level Up with Beth. I am a Christian confidence coach, and I help both women and men level up their lives personally and professionally by mapping out their desires. MAP actually has a very specific thought behind it. The M stands for mindset transformation. The A, which I write as a heart, it has to do with heart transformation. And the P has for physical life transformation, because that's how we advance forward in life, especially if we have been hurt or disappointed. And I help people map out personally their plans in one-to-one coaching sessions and also small study groups. I help people map out their life transformations so they can enjoy their relationships, have fun in their relationships, be open in their relationships, free from fear, free from perfectionism, free from performing, free from hiding from shame, and not experience the same disappointments that they've had in the past. Now, let me be honest. Can you let me be honest for a moment? I was not excited about becoming a coach. In fact, I was not excited about telling my story. But here I am sharing my story with you. So, how I became a Christian confidence coach is I went through a very hard physical trauma. In the spring of 2016, I was raped by someone who I had recently ended a situationship with in my kitchen. So, in a place where I should have been safe. This did not do well for my self-esteem, and Soon after that, I met someone who I had seen previously and knew of him, but we hadn't actually formally met. And I liked him. And here's the problem: he was Christian. I am Christian. Well, he still is Christian. I don't know why I said he was. He's not given up his faith. He's still a Christian. But I had these ideas that had been planted in me by religion because I had been in churches for a long time, and different things I don't think had always been done and taught properly or clearly, or maybe I even misunderstood them, or maybe I only half listened. But whatever it is, I thought this man is never going to love me. He's never going to respect me if he knows about my past. And so I lied to him. I told him that I had been in a toxic relationship and that this man had tried to physically assault me. But try to physically assault is not the same as actually being raped. So, in addition to how I felt about my body, not wanting to live in my body anymore, I now in my mind was like, well, now I'm a liar. And I had never been a liar before. I had always prided myself in my relationships of being honest. It was something that I'd always had, was integrity. And so the last thing about me that I felt that I had within my control, I gave up with a lie. And my self-esteem was wrecked. It was so terrible. And then surprise, surprise, this man, this new man decided, no, I don't want you. Well, listen, I didn't want myself. So why was I even uh devastated? When we're hurt, we're not always logical, right? And we're not okay. And it's okay. And that's the thing. Over a 3-year period, I didn't know how to heal. I knew therapy was not for me. And I'm not against therapy. So please consider therapy if that is the path you are meant to go. But I knew for me personally, therapy was not the way to go because I knew who I was, in the sense of I was a perfectionist and I liked to do things well and I liked to impress things and I liked to just get through things efficiently. So I knew I would show up, be rather reluctant to be honest with whoever would be. I wouldn't want to be honest about the things I did wrong. I wasn't comfortable with being uncomfortable. And as a result, I also knew I would be, trying to get through and perform well and do therapy perfectly. And that I knew would actually be really damaging. So, what did I do? Is I prayed and I asked God, what do I do? I know I need things. Um, and he showed me step by step. And over a 3-year process, he showed me very, very specifically how to heal, how to redefine my identity, how to love being a woman again, how to enjoy being in my body. I do love being a woman, right? He has completely healed me. There are still things, I'll be honest, I think it's really great as a coach to say, I don't always have it all together. I still have, moments. I consider myself a recovering perfectionist, right? I still have moments where I try to, get it perfect. But what happened to me towards the end of the 3 years, the 3-year period where God was really deeply healing me and bringing me back to life, literally. Um, I had a dream, and in that dream, I was in this big, huge auditorium. It was empty. When I say auditorium, it was like huge, like amphitheater type situation. And there were these screens that came down. And I was also there with a friend of mine, but I didn't see her, but I knew she was like in the vicinity, like preparing. There was going to be some sort of event happening. And then I saw on the screen this golden yellow ticket flash and it said speaker. And I was like, me? No, I'm not a speaker. And then it flashed again and the tickets multiplied. And I was like, must be a message for me. No, I am not a speaker. And it multiplied again and flashed and more tickets with the word speaker written on them. And I was like, I am not speaking. I am not telling my story. And it insisted. It was like, boom, 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 boom. Well, without the sound, it was like this silent flashing. And then like the whole screen was just filled with all these tickets and the word speaker on them. And I was like, no. And I woke myself up out of the dream. I was not about to have it. At that point, I was still, while I was being honest with myself about where I was at and the pain I was in and my flaws and everything, as well as, just facing everything I was uncomfortable with, I was not excited and I did not want to share my story publicly. But then 2020 happened. And I'm not interested to go back through the events of 2020 because, hello, it's fairly recent history and we've all been living it, right? So we don't really need to relive it. But what I realized was that there were a lot of people who were living in very dangerous situations. There were a lot of people who, when the world shut down, lost things that they had as their identities. And I know also there were people who were so in my situation, right, with a man who raped me in my kitchen, we didn't live together, right? He left. I didn't have to be with him for 24 hours, 7 days a week, 31 days a month, 365 days a year, year after year. I didn't have to be there. But what happened is I know that people were kind of trapped in 2020 when things got shut down in really awful situations they weren't safe in. And even now, today, I live in Brooklyn, and I see a lot of people on the subway, on the street, just when I'm out and about, who are really hurting. And the past couple years, the mental health, it's been rough. It's been rough on people. And I was like, wait, I can't not speak. I can't not help people because I do believe that God didn't just heal me and help me to love myself, love and feel comfortable, understand really who I was, that I am loved, I am loving, I am absolutely worthy and deserving of every single desire of my heart, including being loved and cherished by a husband who is Christian. There were so many lies I believed, and how I was able to heal my identity, heal my relationships. At one point, like, my business was dying. It was dying. Just like I inside was dying, like my relationships, I wasn't going out as much. And even when I was out and about socially, I was hiding from people. I was ashamed. I didn't want people to know about my relationship failures, whatever. So I was only partially even showing who I was. I had so many masks I was wearing. And how to do that, how to heal and be comfortable being vulnerable and taking risks, to love again, to forgive again. Forgiveness, a lot of times what holds us back, I have learned, is fear. We are afraid to forgive. We are afraid to love. We are afraid to spend that love. Love is a currency. We spend it. We can spend it extravagantly, or we can be really stingy with it. And it depends on our level of fear and our past and what stories we've told ourselves. And a lot of times those stories we've told ourselves are lies from the pits of hell, lies from our enemy, Satan. And so what I've come to do and realize is, if I learned how to rewrite my story, if I have learned how to spend lavishly on people, including people who've hurt me, and lavishly spend my forgiveness, lavishly spend love on them without like the manipulation of expecting a return on it or any type of, catch to it, so to speak. Well, I'm not the only person who wants to know these things. Especially even in the past year, things like forgiveness, when I'm not even trying as a coach or a mentor to have a conversation with someone about forgiveness like comes up. People will just start talking about it. I'll be like even in a clubhouse room listening to conversations that I'm not even actively participating in, and people will start talking about forgiveness and how hard it is or whatever it is that they need from it or want. And it just kind of has followed me around to this topic. So I said, I need to do something. This is for me to, help people, right? Because our stories, when we learn how to write new stories, when I've learned how to enjoy my relationships again, when I learned, even through other coaches, how to make my business live again. But just healing brought everything back to life in my life, including my relationships. And um, why would I not want to help others to be able to write stories in the present for their relationships, for their lives, for their businesses? Why would I not want others to experience that rebirth? That, you know, I don't work with people who want to rewrite the past. That's who I don't work with. I work with people who want to write new stories in the present. And those new stories in the present will become new chapters and books for their futures, right? So we are here to have fun, right? We are here to enjoy life. It's not always easy, but we can choose the way our stories are written. And so that's what I do as a confidence coach. I help, again, both women and men, and I teach it. Everything is taught from a Christian perspective. How to, and I was a teacher for 20 years. So let me tell you, I got teaching skills. So even though I am not a neuroscientist or a social worker or a psychiatrist, I am a teacher. And so everything that I've learned, I break down and I teach, so others can have, the beautiful, happy relationships that they deserve, that they want in life. And that's me in a nutshell. And yes, so I again encourage you to just click the subscribe button for this channel because, like I said, I am doing a 30-day video challenge. And there's going to be a lot of really cool content that's going to be popping up. I think is going to be very helpful for you. And also, I have some new things coming up. I'm getting ready to launch something new. I'm super excited about it. It's going to be 4 weeks of, you'll see. I'm going to be sharing that soon. So if you want to be in the know about, what I have coming up to help people thrive and flourish, not just even as men and women, but as queens and kings, hit the subscribe button. You can also email me at light@levelupwithbeth.com, and I'm happy to add you onto my email list so that you can be the first to know about what I have in store and what is coming up and opportunities for you in the coming years. So have a wonderful day. I again appreciate your time. Thank you so much for allowing me to reintroduce myself. Please, in the comments below, introduce yourself too. I should have said that at the beginning of this, but I would love for you to introduce yourself as well. Or again, you can just email me at light@levelupwithbeth.com and introduce yourself that way. to me. Or one more option. I don't want to give too many options, but you can also follow me on Instagram. I'm pretty active there as well at Babs Photography, BABS Photography LLC, because I am also a photographer. And that is, I can't believe I left that out. That's what I get when I do these video challenges by just like, okay, here's the challenge. Let me just go live and just not plan it out. I'm also a professional photographer. And one of the really cool things I think that I use in my confidence coaching is art. I use my my insights as an artist to also help other people use art for their healing. So that's like a little something cool that I do as well with people is I do incorporate art because artistic expression is like free. It's like a way we can feel safe even when we're feeling vulnerable is by putting it out in some sort of art form. And that actually is how I'm going to share this too. I thought I was done. I always do this. That is how I've come up with a lot of the titles for my signature program, Seeing Myself in a New Light, and my forgiveness journal, 20-day forgiveness journal, how to see yourself in a new light using forgiveness. And I have a new program that I'm going to be sharing about soon that like I said, I'm super excited about. And that also has about seeing yourself in a new light. And that all came about because part of my healing process after trauma was I didn't want to live in my body. If I could have really ripped myself out of my body somehow, particularly like those intimate womanly parts, you know what I'm talking about? I would have just ripped them right out of me. And I used art. I photographed myself. That was one of the things God showed me. Start photographing yourself, Beth. And I started photographing myself. And that series I named Seeing Myself in a New Light. In fact, light is super important because as a photographer, photography means drawing with light. And when you draw a visual story. See how this story all goes together? When we think about ourselves, we have stories that we've drawn pictures of in our minds. They're either light and hopeful, or they're dark and scary and hold us back. So light at Level Up with Beth, again, helping others. My goal is really for them to see themselves, people, men and women, to see themselves in new lights, new perspectives. And really, I do it from a Christian perspective so that people see themselves from God's point of view, because society's point of view, our point of view, even those who love us the most, like maybe our parents or our siblings or our spouses or our children, they all have distorted perspectives to a point based on their expectations and their own life experiences. No one sees us and loves us like God. So, I mean, are you ready to see yourself and love yourself how God sees you? Are you ready in 2023 to begin doing that, to begin writing new stories for your life, drawing new light pictures for your future, for your present? Are you ready to love yourself? Are you ready to map out what that looks like? If you are, then let's connect. Follow me, subscribe to this channel. I think I've got it all down. Maybe tomorrow's challenge I'm going to plan out so I get all the points. But I did want to just come on and speak organically and freely with you all today. So, yes, have a wonderful rest of your day or evening, depending on where in the world you are. And I'll chat and be in touch soon with you. Peace.